How you doing, Ralph here, Ralfy Customs. Now it's the Christmas break, but I've snuck in to work on my Dyna, yeah? So don't tell anyone. I'm going to leave the wireless running as well, so we'll have Christmas tunes, which means that this won't be monetized, so you shouldn't see any adverts, which means I won't earn anything off this video, but fuck me, it's Christmas, you know what I mean? So I'll show you what I'm up to. Coming to the workshop proper, you'll see we have the Dyna, my Dyna, up on the bench, yeah, and the keen-eyed amongst you will notice that there's a back mudguard in place. Now, I didn't film this because I just come in and got on it, right? So we've got this big back mudguard, and you'll notice there's a fucking joint here because the mudguard I bought wasn't long enough. It ended like here and didn't tail drag enough, didn't hang down enough. So I ended up buying another fucking mudguard, cutting one and then cutting the other one, but making the cut piece longer. So I've extended it so it comes down to an acceptable degree. No end of fucking about. Let's join them up. And for them to look all right, and I'm happy with the line. It don't follow this curve doesn't follow the tyre, and that's all right. We're like that because it looks squished up. We want it to look decked like so. Let's fucking fall over the heater. Not a good start, Ralphie. Not that look. I want it to look decked out at the back. So we've got that mounted. However, the problem, if you like, is that this mudguard is about 12 mil, about ½ inch narrower than the standard mudguard. Now, the obvious thing to do would be cut it down the middle and weld it together with a stripping line, widen it, but it'd fucking go all over the place, you know what I mean? It'd end up like a calm sea and twisted out of shape and all the rest of it. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to preserve its integrity, which means I've got to space it out here. See, I've got these temporary 6 mil spacers in just to test fit it. They won't do. I can't leave them in because when I fit these struts, these struts are only as wide as the metalwork on the frame. You get me? Because they just fill this gap. They just make that look pretty. And they won't make some mudguard. There'll be a fucking gap, a 6 mil gap, and it'll look shit if I leave them spacers in. So my cunning plan, what I'm in for today and not looking forward to, if I'm honest, is to use a bit of 6 mil aluminum, yeah, and follow the top line of the strut, kind of like that. Not completely flat, is it? Bugger. Anyway, I'm going to make a strip of this that echoes this shape, follows this shape, and that will fill the gap. And from above, when it's fitted, it will. The idea is that it'll bridge that gap and it'll be a smooth transition like so. It'll just look like an extension of this piece once it's polished up like so. What I'm going to do is cut this to length. It only needs to come to here because of the shape of the fucking job light. That gap is going to be under the seat, so we're not too fussed. It needs to end about here. So we'll cut 2 pieces, whatever length that is, and then we'll get some die chem on them, put these on and trace around them, and then transfer the holes through, cut it to shape, and so on and so forth. That's the plan, that's the job. I've been putting it off because I reckon it's going to be right fun to do. There you go. Yeah, we're just, I went with marker pen, not die cam. It can be a bit funny on aluminium, the old die cam, so we use a poor man's version, which is marker pen, and black them out. And I'm just warming everything up. I want the ink to stick, and I'm going to, I might use these on there as a template to work to, but I don't want to fuck the chrome up. I can't afford to damage these, so thinking I can gaffer tape them up, bolt them to them, and then use them as a bit of a guide light. But I'm a bit wary. I don't want to catch them with the power tools and fuck the chrome up, and that leaves a file which is only going to get me about there without damaging this light. So I'm a bit unsure. I might end up just working to the scribe line that I make. So I reckon, let's put the light on, see if that helps. This top edge we're going to take as straight. What I thought was, if I do this, look, so we'll hang it off halfway, gap each side, we'll transfer punch the holes through, and then we'll scribe a line that gives you the profile of this, and then cut that to suit. Make it sound simple, don't I? I'm fucking shitting doing this. I don't know why. If I line the top edge of this up with the top edge of that, it's not a perfect match. The top edge of this is not perfectly flat. So I'm wondering, I think I can get away with that discretion. So we'll just trace the bottom one line. Right, so what I've done is I've levelled this edge up. I've stood it up on the jig lock like so, so it's all nice and flat and square, level like, clamped it up with a bit of tape on, and then I've set it on these 321 blocks so I can go through with the transfer punch where the holes are, and then scribe around it, so we end up with this look. So the two holes are marked and we've got a scribe line to follow. First things first, I'll get these drilled and then think about how we're going to cut it. I might have to bandsaw it and then fucking draw file it or something. This is, for some reason, I don't know if it's because I'm on holiday officially, like, I'm approaching this with some trepidation. Righto, so let's get these drilled out on the mighty fucking Meddings. We'll pop a pilot hole through. How fast are we running? Are we running? Yeah, we're running at a steady pace. Probably speed it up a bit to be fair, but I can't be arsed. And that's the truth of it, so there you fucking go. We'll have these pilot holes drilled in short order. You know what we need on here, don't you? Bit of lube, because that's what separates this from the animals. There we go. So we'll get them done and then we'll switch out to the 10mm. Right, let's switch it out. So, as I mentioned a minute ago, I'm going to do this one a bit more fly on the wall, so you'll probably see a bit more like me changing tooling and shit like this. Let me know in the comments if you prefer not to, like, because it can drag on a bit, can't it? You know what I mean? Progress is slower when you're watching what I actually have to fucking do. Rather than by the magic of television, here's one I repaired earlier. Ain't it? So, get you drilled out. Funny curly whirling's on that bad boy, ain't there? Look at that. They'll love you. Even though it's aluminum, it'll still bite you. Just trim them off. Have them off, look. We don't need that shit, do we? So we'll get these drilled out and then we'll put a chamfer tool in and just touch it. I won't make you watch that. Just to clean the edges up with the hole. And then we'll look at cutting them, the bit I'm scared of doing, like. if I had, well, I'll show you. If I had Billy Big Bollocks, what I'd do, like, hold on. Right, so this is the Billy Big Bollocks version of doing it is just bolting this one on here, look. I've put some masking tape on the edge to protect it. Put a washer on, mate. By protecting it and then screwing the fucking bolts right on it. So, oh, excuse me, it's cold in here today. A bit fucking chilly. I'm having to put these in front of the blower like you saw to make the tape stick and the fucking ink dry and all that. And then we can line this edge up again, can't we? We're only going to be out by the thickness of the tape, which is fuck all. Line that top edge up. Give these a tweak up. And then use the existing as a template to work to, right? So, over to the bandsaw, trim it up, leave an edge, you know, leave it a bit shy, and then come back and file it up. Or do whatever you need to do. Fucking hell, the ink's coming off. That's not great, is it? Oh, fucking hell, what are we going to do? Right, so, regardless, I will die chem them then. I'll alcohol wipe this and then warm it up and die chem it, because that's fucking shit. That's not working for fuck all, is it? I need better than that. Anyway, not if I do this. Not if I do this. I can trim around it with it and then file it, you know, and then just watch this. Take it right down to this paper, and then I'm there. That'd be the Billy Big Bollocks way. Think I'm a bit clumsy and I might damage this. Is to mark this properly. Find something that's going to stick, like die chem, if you warm it up and alcohol wipe it. And etch around it, bolt it on and scratch around it, take it off, and then just work on this. So, don't fucking know. I'm going with that. Right, let's go again then. So, we've cleaned and die chem. Red die chem, not blue. Don't ask me. I couldn't get blue at the time, and I needed something, so I went for red. Everyone uses blue. I don't know why. Answers on a postcard to the usual address, if you know why. I'm holding on to this because they're warm. Let's fucking just tweak that up. Get that as level as we can. And that's the bit you'll see. You'll only see this top edge. I'm not showing you very well, sorry. Again, fly on the wall, so don't expect good fucking production. If you want good production, check out my other videos. I'm not on holiday and in the workshop with your videos, like. That'll be a bit slicker. So, yeah, I reckon, if I can find the fucking thing, we can now screw over line. Nope, not wobble. All the way around. Like fucking so. And then have these off. Like so. And we've got a line to follow. We just need to go to that line and go to that line the best we fucking can. It needs to be on point, this does, for me, like. There's not a lot of room for error. So, fingers crossed. This is where we wish we had CNC fucking milling capability, excuse me. So it could profile these out to fucking within a millionth of a fucking micron, couldn't it? Instead we've got this, boys. We've got the fucking Banshaw fucking Jones. So we can use this flat like and we can rip through that to within that, you know, within as close as we dare fucking go. It's going to bottom twitch me a bit because I ain't got any more material. If I fuck this up, then if we go past the line, it's like when you go around one of them electric things and it rings a bell if you touch the wire, like, it's that kind of job for me, like, this sort of thing. But there you go. Get ourselves sat on. which we love. It's certainly not fast, so there's plenty of control, like, you know what I mean? I won't make you watch me do all of this at this speed, but you can see there that we've certainly got a good start. Excuse the glaring light, my camera don't like that LED. With that roughed out, I'm hoping that this gets me where I need to be. Gonna run it on here a few times. And then look down the edge to get rid of any saw marks, you know, smooth it out. And I'm really hoping that it allows me to follow the line. I can just see the edge of the line, and I'm going with flat. I reckon it's as flat as the top is. So we'll sand that flat on the belt sander, and then we'll work the end on the belt sander, radius that end off, and Bob's your answer. Right. These got unsurprisingly fucking red hot during the sanding process. Anyway, we've got a nice satin edge to it now, and I've tried it on and it's not a mile off. Right, that's fucking... I don't think it's going to perfectly profile it. I think I'm going to struggle, to be fair, because these are a bit anyhow, and I don't want to foot the chrome up, and if I tape it then I'll still have tape to deal with, so I'm not quite there yet. I'm having to whack this on, look, get everything in position. I will say that that fucking edge that I've just sanded sits lovely against that. It's the standard one's got a slight dip in here, it's not quite true. That's throwing me off. And that edge there needs a little bit more, where it comes around this, round the end light. I need to just give that a little bit more. So let's just go in from about there to there. That little bit there needs fucking off. Yeah, that I'm not showing you very well. And I really don't want to get into trying to match this edge perfectly. Now I can see that there's a little bit of a bow in this, like this dips down a little bit. It just leaves a bit of a something. I don't want to braid it with this fixed, and I don't want to give myself a not flat line to try and follow, because I think it's just going to look fucking shit. And I think once that's polished, it won't look fucking a million miles away, you know what I mean? I reckon it'll be fucking bob on. So I'll have that bit off, and then we might go and fit it. See how it looks, see what I'm going to do with these ends. I think I'm going to do fuck all with them ends, because they'll be fine as they are, like, you know what I mean? I might chamfer, I might put a chamfer on here or something. Don't know. Either way, I'm filming it badly, as I've already explained. You're along for the ride. I'll get that bit off and then we'll see about fitting it on.
Don't forget, folks, our Fuck Stock stickers are now available in our Etsy store, link in the description below. Fuck Stock, you know it makes sense.
It's no fucking good. You can't see me very well, hold on. My OCD's got me. This fucking top edge, right, is the one you see, it's the main event. We've got a bit of a curve on the back there that needs to be fucking on point. Underneath could look like a fucking scabby horse's dick and you'd never see it, but I wouldn't do it like that. We'll do it right. There's just a 16th of an inch, if that. Yeah. And I've taped it up, I'm fucking going for it, look. With draw file in it. Kind of, I'm kind of cheating with a bit of slidey action, but we're just gently, could do without that popping up. Just gently, making sure we're a bit tipped this way, not that fucking way, because we don't want to, I've just caught the tape, look, we don't want to fuck that chrome up. So, fuck it. I'm just going to draw file that middle bit out a bit. I'm not worried about it being perfect at this stage. I'm not worried about it being perfect, but just turn it onto the curve, give it a bit of a rip like. They were nearly catching it there, Ralfy, so start to fucking reel it in. Just want it better than it was. Just better than it was, so that's me. I'll get that work down. And then we'll look at it mounted. Righto, so that's that one in place, look. It stands out a bit being satin, but it'll get polished and well, you can see it. All I've got to do is by that edge. There's normally a gap here behind this seat, so I'm not too worried about filling it in, and I'd have to start welding pieces onto the aluminium and shaping them to make a fill in here, and it's not that kind of build, you know. It's got gaps, it's not a fucking fluid thing. It's an old school fucking Harry Dobson, like, that's what it's going to end up looking like. So we're happy with that. It was a bit stressful, but we got there, and once that's polished and that edge is took off, that'll be finished, and that's happy days. Obviously once this is all painted and gone to the beauty parlour, like how Chris says, that'll all look fucking lovely. I'll get on off camera and fuck about with the other side now, and then we can get them bolted on, and then that's one job ticked off. What I need to do is set the back wheel out or jack it right up and weld the fucking nuts on the inside, the M10 nuts, or whatever I'm going to use, because it's a bit of a faff. It's there's a very slight offset, as is normal for these. The wheel's a little bit this way, so it's tight. It's tight under there, like, I need to inspect and make sure it's not going to clout, and then put a permanent fixing on, because it's a bit of a cunt to keep fucking about with, to be fair. But I'll get that other one done off camera, probably tomorrow now, because I've about had enough. It's fucking, hold on. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. I left the house at fucking 7:30, 8 o'clock, so a few hours out, fucking about with the Dyna as we approach the Christmas break. Righto. There's the second one in. We've noticed we've got a low area in the mudguard. Well, there's a bit of a gap, so we'll panel beat that a bit flatter, and when our Danny paints it, he'll make it flat anyway, so we're not too bothered about that. What I need to do, I don't know if I showed it in the last clip, because this is now a few days later, is trim that off so it looks nice, and then we can call that job done. That leads us to the front mudguard, which needs spacers between the forks and the mounts. I've already elongated the holes so that they fit, because they're a little bit different, like. The issue I've got here is I normally make a stainless steel tube that fills the gap. Now, unfortunately, the threaded holes in these forks are close to this outside edge. So unless that tube sticks out, it's got to be quite skinny, and I think it will look shit. I need to work on a solution for that. Like I say, it's not showing very well, but there's not much gap between the edge of the hole and the edge of the fork. So if I do a nice fat tube, like I normally would, that covers the hole on this nicely and gives it a bit of support, it's going to overhang. It's going to stick out. Here, look, it's going to bulge. So I either have to make something offset which is where I'm leaning towards, or make the normal thing, fat thing, but chamfer this edge heavily, like shape this edge so that it blends into the fork, which I think will look a bit shit. Let me have a play, let me do a couple of test pieces. That'll be in the next video, I reckon, so follow along if you want to see that. I'll make a couple of test pieces and we'll see what we're going to do with that. So there you go, this is me on Boxing Day, so if you're watching again, happy Christmas everyone. It just leaves me to say, as always, if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, give me a sub and follow along. Let me know in the comments what you think about these slightly more fly on the wall way of making these videos. Like I say, I'm dead chilled over Christmas, so I'm just taking you along for the ride. Yeah. Check out all the bump in the description below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Big love everyone, see you soon.